An idea born out of Monday morning chats at the coffee machine. In this series, we chat to our guests about their going out experiences and how it shaped them.
Join us, Pippa
And Georgia,
team members at Skiddle who love going out and miss chatting about it.
welcome to the final episode of Series 1 of the Going Out podcast. Today we're joined by Tom from the Lottery Winners.
We chatted about what it's like to release an album 3 days before the first lockdown, supporting Tom Jones and going out and about in Leigh. It's a really positive conversation, so if you're feeling a bit bogged down by all the lockdown news, this is definitely one for you today.
Yeah, we had a proper laugh, didn't we?
We did.
Enjoy! So we'd like to welcome Thom Rylance from the Lottery Winners to the Going Out podcast.
Welcome.
We're really excited to have you and we can't wait to hear a bit more about your going out experiences. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Episode 8.
Episode 8.
How have the other 7 been?
They've been good.
They've been good,
We've
yeah.
had
This is already the best though, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
far.
This is like the headline podcast.
Yeah. Just for everyone who's listening, we were just talking about what you top your Weetabix with, because Tom's eating his Weetabix. So
In a very sad, boring way, but
yeah, Pippa said
It's a
Things have to
melancholy
be
bowl of Weetabix, but I think that's got to be done. Like, I've got to a point now where I've just got to start making better choices. I've made a lot of bad choices for a long time, and look where it's got me. I need to start making better ones. So I'm on a health kick, been doing a lot of walking, feeling very good about my calves at the moment.
Great.
A lot of people are saying that my calves look very nice.
that's great news.
I think, do you know what? Calf is like a underappreciated body part.
muscle.
Yeah, I
You have
think.
those
I think
You've
it's
got
the
good,
best one.
yeah, if you've got good calves, you're winning.
Thinking, is that a defined?
Yeah.
Couldn't be more defined.
Don't use mine as the example for the normal. Mine's an exceptional calf.
Exactly.
I'll
We'll come short.
I'll keep my eyes out next time we see you.
When it's short weather, we'll be like, whoa, let's have a look at those calves.
So you grew up in Leigh, which is not far from Wigan, but
Yeah.
well, I'm from Chorley, so not far from there. I used to spend a good few hours of my time in Wigan growing up. So
What were you up to in Wigan? Were you going out there?
going out on King Street or
Nice.
something terrible. So what was growing up in Leigh like for you, and what were your first going out experiences?
Growing up, like, if anybody's not been to Leigh, I'll briefly describe it for you in the best way that I can. Leigh is like the ashamed family uncle. Like, maybe he's made some bad choices. Perhaps at family meals, he falls asleep in his meal. Like, you don't hate him because he's family. You're kind of obliged to love him in a way. And if he died, you would be sad.
Yeah.
But it would also be a bit of a relief for the family. That's Leigh.
Yeah.
Like, I've got this connection to it, so I have to like it a bit, but I'm under no illusions that it is awful. It's an awful place to be.
But it has a special place in your heart for sure.
It does, just like a crap uncle, yeah.
Doesn't everyone feel like that about their hometowns?
I think so, you know, because I feel like that's a really good analogy that I might borrow to describe where I'm from.
Yeah.
You can use it.
Thanks.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Like, I think Leigh's a special case. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. I mean, it's good for like charity shops and if you like pasties and bakeries, because that's all it is, really.
Yeah.
But,
So
and I do like both of those things.
Yeah.
So where were you going out when you were in Leigh?
There's like 3 clubs
Nice.
in Leigh. It used to be called Bliss, but now it's called Quay. And there's Cafe Stella, which is right next door. And then there's Pulp, which and you do them in that order. And then, but you know, if you're in Pulp, it's like approaching 6 a.m. and you've made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Some bad choices have made you end up in Pulp.
Yeah. I've always, and then you get this moment of instant realization and regret when you're in there, and then it's home time. And then you go to Casbah or Godfather for a takeaway. And they're the best places in Leigh, but they're not good.
What kind of music's being played?
Terrible music, really. Well, in Quay, I know the DJ, so every time I walk in, he puts one of my songs on and he still thinks that's hilarious. And I just don't So other than that, yeah, it's just the same as everywhere else, I would imagine. I mean, I'm not some kind of party animal. I did have my time going out quite a lot, but now I just feel too sad and old. I think at 18, I felt sad and old.
Yeah.
Going out.
Were you going out from 18, or were you going out when you were younger than that? Because I feel like if you go out when you're younger than that, by the time you get to 18, you do feel old.
You've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going out when I was younger than that. But I never really looked old enough, but I always got away with it. I don't know why.
Were you using a fake ID?
No, I never had a fake ID.
You didn't?
I don't think many people in the world look like me, which is good for them.
Oh, that's not true.
Don't say that.
Did you not have a family members or something that you borrowed?
No, my brothers are younger.
Yeah. I feel like, though, it's probably a really generic thing to say, but I went out with no ID in Wigan at 17, and just because I was taller than all my friends, they just let me in. So I do think it has something to say about the area.
Yeah.
That you can get you can go out without ID.
It's very relaxed. Well, I used to go out in Wigan from being like really, really young, but I used to go to like this under 18s night, which like defined my childhood really. It was called Cafe Nirvana, and it was just like an absolute mosh. We all used to sneak booze in, so I guess I was out in clubs drinking from being like 13, but that defined my childhood and helped me find who I was as a person. And I still, like, if you see someone in the street in Wigan from the CAF days, then there's always a little nod of approval. Like, that was a real big part of growing up for me.
Oh, CAF. Yeah, my brother used to go to CAF.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big. I was pretty cool there. You probably know that. Like, a lot of people were saying that I was one of the main people. Everyone liked me.
Big name.
But I did my first ever gig there too.
A B-knock.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
I said I did my first ever gig there too, which was mad. So it was a real big part of like my developing into the man I am today.
So when you say it's a big part, was that because you met like-minded people there, or was it more kind of the atmosphere, the music that kind of inspired you?
Yeah, it was everything. It was, I guess it was like the place for all the social outcasts to hang out and be social. And yeah, so I met loads of people that were weird, and I love weird people, girls. It was an introduction into the world of girls. Not that I ever had any success there, but yeah, it was that was a really defining part of my childhood. I used to love that because it was on every Thursday night, but then they opened on Tuesdays as well, and only like the hardcore went on Tuesdays, and I went every Tuesday and Thursday. It was great, tapping off with girls and that, and drinking secret vodka.
Yeah,
those underage nights were crazy. I remember like being in one for someone in my class's like birthday, and everyone was in like a tutu and like neon paint, and I like hated it. And I remember people smoking, and this is an under 18s night, and like smoking in clubs is mad to think now anyway. But that's my memory of my under 18 experience.
I didn't
go.
Yeah, I was wearing a lot of tutus. Well. I actually remember those days. I did have a brief part of when we used to go to like the chavvy kind of clubs, and everyone was in tutus. That was a thing for a while, wasn't it? Like neon tutus.
Yeah, it was horrible. I remember my dad dropping me off, and he was like, "You ain't got the memo here." And everyone in the queue was dressed in neon stuff, and I was like in jeans. Like, shit.
I think that's a good thing, though.
And looking back, it's a great thing.
Good decision.
And what kind of music were you listening to in those days? Like, what were the artists that you loved?
Well, I never really. I guess like Cafe Nirvana and stuff was all about like metal music and angry bands that were all angry at the parents and that. But I was never really too into that. I never really subscribed to it. It was more like I loved Nirvana. I still do. And I from a really early age, just absolutely adored the Smiths. I remember my mate Sam playing me Frankly Mr. Shankly. That was the first thing that he showed me, and I must have been like a very early teenager, and just hearing like Morrissey's voice and these strange lyrics that that were quite funny, and I was like, is this a joke? I don't get it. And then jumping into the Smiths back catalogue and just being like, oh, this is about me. This is how I feel. And so that was really important for me growing up, finding the Smiths. And then Morrissey got all racist. And now I'm embarrassed of having 2 tattoos of him.
Oh, no.
What have you got of his face?
Well, I had the first one done. It's a little drawing of him there. And it says it takes strength to be gentle and kind, which I believe. But it didn't look like Morrissey at all. It just looked like Wolverine.
Perfect. You can just say that's something else.
That's
I had Wolverine.
That's probably a good quote for Wolverine, though.
Yeah.
It probably is. I'm going to pretend it was Wolverine. But then a tattoo artist saw it and he was like, I need to do you a better one than that. So I got a second Morrissey portrait on the back of my arm there, except he must have done it right. He accidentally did Rick Astley. So it just looks like Rick Astley.
Oh, again, could be a good thing.
Yeah, I might have dodged a bullet there, to be honest. Yeah. Rick Astley's never said anything wrong. He's a lovely man. I know Rick. He's nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw a video of him doing something with you, wasn't it?
We did like a little TV show. I got way better guests than you. I had Rick Astley. You got
I feel a bit stung there.
Yeah, we did a little show and we had some like pretty famous people come on there, which was insane. And Rick as well.
Sick.
Did you tell him about the tattoo?
I didn't actually. No, I might text him. I've genuinely got his number.
That's a good number.
I've got Rick Astley's number.
You'll have to text him.
Thought that would happen.
You'll have to text him because otherwise we're going to out you.
Yeah.
I will. I'll text him.
Is that the most? Is that the greatest number you've got in your phone? It's always a nice
Rick
question.
Astley.
Yeah, it's a solid contender.
No, my mum is my best one. That's the one I use the most. I don't know. I've got some pretty good people.
Nice.
Oh,
keeping his cards close to his chest there.
But it's all happened really quickly. Like I never had famous people in my phone book. Like I'm not a famous person or anything. I don't hang out with them. But just like recently this year, something's happened where I think it's just easier to talk to everyone. Like like even though we're all not socializing, I feel like I've made so many more friends this year than I would usually, which is strange.
Yeah, we were gonna kind of segue into everything that you've done this year, despite your album coming out. Was it like pretty much right before lockdown?
Days before?
Yeah, it was literally, we were doing the album release promo, like going into HMVs and stuff and doing the signings. And that was as Boris was coming on the TV and the gigs were just falling off the gig list as we were going. It was like it was like the film Twister. Like the tornado was behind us and we were trying to run away from it.
What was that like? What was that whole experience?
It was pretty intense, and I feel like I wish I'd have captured it and how we were all feeling at that time, because it was devastating, because we waited 10 years to release that album and we'd been through so many hard times trying to actually get it out there, and it was like, it felt like it was our moment, and then it just felt so typical. Like, I'm not saying that, it was our fault, but like COVID just felt like, of course that's happened to us. Like, I know it's not happened to us, it happened to everybody, but it was like, of course that's happened to us. That is just our luck. So I was really sad for like 5 minutes, and then I thought, there's absolutely no point just wallowing around in my knickers because what's that going to do? And we just got to work and we haven't stopped since.
Yeah, it looks like you've done some pretty amazing things over this time.
It's amazing that you've been able to pick yourself up so quickly, really, and just get back to being creative and being to work, because it was such a, it just knocked everything over. All the schedules just went, everything everyone wanted to complete in the year. And it's been hard to get back into the mindset, really, with all this chaos around. So it's amazing that you guys have done it.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, and there's still times where it's not easy now, and but I know I'm really sensitive, and I have to distract myself, and I have to do things like make sure I get up early and make sure that I like to try and go to bed every day having created something, whether that's like write a song or make a video or draw a picture or write a poem. Doesn't matter. I just want to bring something into the world that day, and then I can kind of sleep at night. And if I don't, then it makes me feel all anxious. I think I'm quite strange. So yeah, that's what I've just been making sure that I can do, and pushing myself to do it, I suppose. And the rest of the band as well. We're all the same. I just don't know what we'd have done without it. Like, I really don't know what we'd have done without the focus of it.
Yeah, I think we've spoken to people in previous episodes about what they've done to like remain creative and if that's been a struggle at all. And, you know, some people write their music based on experiences and you're not able to go out and have those experiences to write about. So it's good to hear that you've managed to stay creative in some capacity over the time, but you've clearly been really creative with all like the interviews and like live streams and everything that you've been doing. So has that been something that's managed to keep you quite calm and excited? And is that I don't know, I suppose that's a different thing than what you would have done this year, so you're happy you've done that as an alternative?
I think it was always important for us to just like do things. It didn't matter what, do things. So we were like, well, let's just do this TV show. It doesn't matter. Maybe no one will watch it, but we'll have fun making it. And we do like stupid little challenges and, you know, like great interviews with people. And so, yeah, that was a really good part of it. But also on top of that, like we did this covers album like quite early on where we never intended it to be a covers album. We were just like, let's make some music. And so we just like send each other parts and then put little videos together that kind of like ended up with us doing it with a full orchestra, and they'd all send the parts and film it at home. And it was just like, wow. And the first time I heard that, I was like, this is special. So I was really proud of that. That then became an album which got released and got in the charts, which was insane. And then on top of all that, I was kind of doing the covers. It was weird. It was like a study. So if there's all these songs that you really like and you admire, but you've only ever listened to them, you've never actually dissected them and looked inside and had a look at the cogs and what makes them work and why that chorus lifts so much and why that gives me goosebumps. So I got inside all those songs and used it as a study, and then wrote like 30 songs, 40, probably more. I've probably written like 200 songs, but like 50 of them have been good or something this year. And so there was that. And then I've been to studios, we've recorded it. So we've got albums ready. It's the best stuff we've ever written. So I don't know, like there is like a silver lining to all of this for creative people. Like I needed this time. I didn't have it otherwise. I was just always in a van or in some services eating a sausage roll. And now I'm talking to you eating Weetabix.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that like, because I think everyone's doing it. Like, where would I be right now if like COVID didn't happen? Like, would these things? And it seems to have, in a way, been a positive way to make you guys think creatively in a really
get outside
reality.
of the box.
Yeah.
Well, it's given everyone a bit of time and space, and I think that's like two of the most important ingredients to creating things. Like, so I definitely did need it, and I'm thankful for it. But it was, you know, it's been a really bad time. Like, I miss, like, the only reason that I ever wanted to be in a band is because I want to get on stage and know that people like me, and I need those applauses and that affirmation. So it's been really hard not having that.
Yeah. We saw that your socially distanced gig has recently been rescheduled.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that gig and why it's on? And
yeah, well, we've been trying, like, since this happened to, like, we had one of the, remember the driving gigs where they were a thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had one of them. It was like a stadium gig and it sold out. And it was like going to be in the next couple of days. And then that one got pulled and I was like, oh God. And then our debut album tour, which feels like it's never going to happen. Like, we've got some big gigs on there and that just keeps getting pushed back and back and back. And then they offer for Independent Venue Week, I think it was, this Academy gig, the socially distanced one we got offered. It was supposed to be at the end of January. And then obviously that's not going to happen now. So that's now been pushed back to April. I feel like our tour is probably going to be now September, and I don't know, I just want it all to be over, and it's just I don't know I'm just taking it day to day. It's hard to get excited over gigs anymore because they've just all keep disappearing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, suppose we experience that, don't we?
We've experienced it on the other side as well.
Yeah,
having gigs that have been rescheduled and kind of watching it from a Skiddle point of view.
Yeah, but it's been great to see the confidence that customers do have in attending a socially distanced gig and how desperate people are to get out. And there's been some people who've done it
And being
so
like,
well when it was allowed to have a socially distanced gig. So I have faith that.
But even like the fact that you were going to do a drive-in, like that's amazing that people are thinking out, like, you know, trying to abide by the law, make everyone safe, but how can we like actually enjoy the music that we love in a life?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was really looking forward to that. I thought it would have been like a timestamp, like one of those memories, you know, like a time capsule. Like I would have had the photograph for the memory of just looking out into loads of cars, and that would never happen again.
Yeah, that's so
I was actually, it was a bit Black Mirror, but I was kind of like looking forward to that. But yeah, and people have been great. Like, I don't think many people have even refunded the tickets for the tour that was supposed to be last March, which now might not even be till this September. Like, people are hanging in there, and I think they understand how much artists are struggling. And so, you know, people are really supportive.
Yeah.
What's it been like engaging with like your like social media fans? Has it been like easier because everyone, like you say, is being more connected? Has that been like a different experience for you?
I think, well, I don't know if this is every band or not, because I've only ever been in this one, but like I hate saying fans, but I like community. It's like a family. It is so strange. I feel like I know everybody. Like there's like a Facebook fan club, and then we all just chat in there, and we do weekly Zoom calls with people, and we just all hang out. Like I had one last night. I was having a bad day yesterday. It was just like I was having a real nothing day. Like I was so bored. And I got on that Zoom call, and there's like 25 people in there, and I just laughed for the whole time. And like, yeah, like honestly, I don't know what I'd have done without all those people. It's just,
that's amazing.
It's so nice.
Yeah. The community. What do you get up to on like the Zoom calls? Is it just like a big open chat?
Yeah, basically it's just us showing each other our pets. Nice. But yeah, no, it's really nice. It's funny. Everyone's really nice and funny, and it's become like this regular thing we do every week.
Yeah.
And
oh, that's lovely.
How have your bandmates been coping during this time as well?
Everyone's pretty down, I suppose, but like we've just stayed focused, and I feel like we talk to each other even more now than we ever did. Like it's like a constant Zoom call with my band. Like we're always just talking to each other, but that's the way it's always been. Like we've been a band now for like 12 years, so we're really close, and it's like we just are a family, a dysfunctional family, and we just talk to each other constantly anyway, and we can be really open and honest with each other, and I think that's really good, because you get to a point of friendship where you can tell someone if they're being a knob. like that's the level we're at now, so we can all tell each other we're being knobs, and we can all and it's really nice, and we're all really supportive of each other, and I really love the people in my band.
Genuinely out of interest then, how did you meet each other, and when did you decide to form a band?
Well, I met Rob, who plays guitar in the band, when I was in year 10 at school, because I got kicked out of the school I was going to for being a bad boy renegade. And Rob was like dead swatty at school, like proper nerd, and like they knew that I played music, and they knew that Rob played music, so they decided that Rob should be like my buddy and show me around the school. And so I met Rob, and he showed me around the school, and then we had to have this like secret relationship for the rest of school where I would not let anybody know I was hanging out with him, because I was so cool and he wasn't. And we used to like have secret meetings where we go and like jam Radiohead songs and stuff. And then one day we came out as friends, and it was fine.
Have you watched Normal People?
I've not seen it. No. There's a lot of willies in it, I heard, so I'm not interested.
I was going to say, it sounds like Connell and Marianne's relationship.
Secret.
Kept it secret during school.
Yeah, well, that's like me and Rob, it was a big secret. And then I met Kate and Joe. Were also best friends at school, at a different school. Yeah. And we kind of all just came together. It was so weird. Like me and Rob were like, let's start a band. And we put the poster up for the bass player in the local guitar shop just as Katie Lloyd was walking in.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
And it was just like fate. And then that's where we met. And then we were chatting on MSN. That's how long ago it was.
Oh.
And then we did our first like rehearsal and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Do you think it's crazy how like one little thing, like you, for example, like being kicked out of school or whatever and being partnered with a boy to like be your mentor or whatever, is literally turned into like your like career.
Yeah, it's strange. It's like this whole sequence of like tiny events. Well, that was tiny, not for my mum at the time, but like the whole sequence of tiny events just like lead you where you are, don't they? Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's meant to be.
So do you think working with your like friends is like a positive in making music? Or because I feel like I've heard from some bands who are in bands with friends, and sometimes if something needs correcting, they feel like they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings because they're like, oh, it's my friend, they're doing what they love.
It's not like that with us. I think we enjoy hurting each other's feelings. That's what we want.
Well, you want to get the best out of everyone, don't you?
Rubbish, why you wearing those shoes are crap. It's no, we're really honest with each other.
It's got to be done though, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Is it you who writes all the music, or do you do it collectively?
Yeah, I kind of write everything. Yeah, a bit.
Are you going to annoy them by saying that?
No,
we'll get the other ones on the podcast.
It's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, I'm quite a prolific songwriter, and I bring the song to the band, and then it does get changed. But I am the songwriter, and I think they like it that way because it's less work.
Maybe someone will get a tattoo of your face on their arm,
and then
twice.
People will say it looks like
except it'll look like the Hulk or something.
Rick Astley again.
Yeah, maybe you could get Rick Astley to get your face on his arm.
Yeah,
just a picture of me, but it's Alan Carr.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hope that one day people have had my lyrics tattooed, which I think is bonkers, but
oh wow,
yeah,
it'd be great to have a portrait.
What kind of lyrics have
all
they got?
The best ones that I write. I don't know. I can't remember specifically any of them now, but there's been a few.
How does that feel when like your lyrics have resonated with someone so much that they would tattoo it?
It feels crazy. I don't know, because sometimes people have said to me, they've come up to and said like, this song everywhere, it's got me through some real hard times, and I'm like, what? Because then it reminds me of being a 13-year-old listening to the Smiths, and like I'm just like, I can't believe that I've ever managed to do that. And then I also go back to thinking when I was writing that song and I was just in my boxers with like kebab down me, and it's not quite as romantic as they made me.
Yeah, you're writing about how much you love your kebab, but no one knows.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, we did a song towards the end of last year called Open Letter to Creatives, which was I was having a bad day, and I text my friend who sings in this band called The Wonder Stuff, called Miles Hunt, and I was like, I feel bad, man, like I just want to get back to normal, I just want to get out on the road and stuff. And then he just sent me this really encouraging message of what it meant to be a creative person, and like how I can use that, and I've got all these things in my fingers, and just make something. And I was just like, oh yeah. But he was like saying like things like, don't worry if you can't, because you know it'll come. And I was just like, oh my God. And then as I was reading it, I was like writing this song that became Open Letter to Creatives, and it was never. And I have to say as well, my fiance Lara was texting me little bits like clear your desktop, empty your recycle bin, and they all made it into the song. So although she is going to be credited on the artwork for the song, I'm not going to put her on the PRS because I think that's too much. But yeah, that Open Letter to Creatives, that was never even meant to be for anybody else. That was just for me to put on and get me through that day. And then I just like sent it to the band, and they were like, this is how everybody's feeling, like we need to put this out. So we made a video, and that had a pretty incredible response. The amount of messages I had from like creative people saying, oh my God, I needed this today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that was like overwhelming. It was overwhelming.
I had goosebumps actually when I watched it for the first time, because it kind of came just after that whole retrain kind of advert and stuff. So it did resonate that, like, I don't know, it just made it all kind of bizarre how like that message was coming from our like government to our creatives. And it was like a really great response that I feel like a lot of people needed to see, a response of like people that they like resonated with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really was. I cried when I watched it back, because I was just like, oh God. It was weird, because when I wrote it, I just went into this trance and didn't really think about what I was writing. And then afterwards, when I listened to it for the first time, I was just like, oh yeah, and I did need that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really proud of that. It's weird because it was written in 5 minutes, and it was done in my garage. We've been to like some of the best recording studios in the world, and did that in my garage, and I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of.
Yeah. Even the video itself gives me goosebumps.
It's from the heart, I think. Like, even when you say it's wrote in 5 minutes, that just backs up like how you feel like you're taking it in and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, everyone.
No worries.
And also, speaking of Goosebumps, I watched like the recap video of your 2020, and like it looks like you've done some just really amazing things. And how does that make you feel looking back on all of that? I feel like that maybe that's a good part of the process, really, is to look back and reflect. But
I say in the song to take time to appreciate your achievements. And that was something that I had to write for me, because I have never done that. So like we were at Glastonbury Festival playing our first Glastonbury in 2019, and literally sat. Oh no, we hadn't even played yet, and we're sat at the tents with my manager, and I'm going, yeah, but what's next, man? What are we doing next? What we're going to do? And he's like, you are at Glastonbury now, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, you've done this. This was important to you. You're here, enjoy it. Stop thinking about what's next. And I'm always, that is me, like, completely. And this year, I have definitely learned to just appreciate the moment and the achievements and hitting those goals. So yeah, watching back the compilation that Kate, our bass player, made of all the things we've done this year, I was just like, oh, that's insane. Considering it was supposed to be like the year that nothing happened and everything, a lot happened. So I'm proud of us.
And thinking back to how you felt in March, thinking, oh no, like my year's ruined, and knowing that it hasn't been. In fact, it's probably been more creative than ever.
It's just like the phoenix from Harry Potter, when it dies, it just reborn.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. Yeah, I wish I could go back to March last year and find myself in TK Maxx having a breakdown, because I did cry in TK Maxx. I was trying to find some like clothes to wear for a gig, and I wish I could just go back and put my hand on my shoulder and be like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be okay. Yeah. The world is
going to get through it, and you're going to do amazing things.
So horrific, but it's going to. You will get there.
Yeah, I suppose that's a great positive outlook to have.
Yeah.
Touching back on Glastonbury, what stage were you playing at? And if that was your goal, what's the next goal?
Oh, good. We played on the Rabbit Hole stage, which I didn't really know much about, but it was just crazy. It was dead cool, and it was so rammed. It was packed. Like, it was doing your first Glastonbury. I was so nervous about it, and it was just better than I could have imagined it was going to be. It was just like this. Have you been to the Rabbit Hole?
I haven't. Yeah. We said this last week. We spoke to Kofi Stone, and he played at it, and he said his band members couldn't get to Glastonbury, so he had to just play with no band members.
But his band forgot his ticket.
Pippa has, and I haven't. Basically,
it's just it's mad, isn't it? Like, because it's a secret part, but yeah. Continue your story anyway.
Yeah, so it's like this weird, like, magical place where loads of weird stuff's going on, and then it's got this great big tent as well, and just like thousands of people in there. And I walked out onto the stage, and I could not believe it, and they were all looking at me, and I thought, like, at the start I was just like, this is just a coincidence, like they think someone else is on, or like they'll probably just get off when I start talking, or just we start playing. And the whole gig, it was like they knew all the words. I just felt so famous and good, and like it was just like, oh, it's all been worth it. And then immediately after, when I was actually saying what's next, the day after that, we got this weird email from Tom Jones's people that was just like, hey, do you want to come and support Tom Jones on a stadium tour like next week? Like, yeah,
yes, of course we do.
I'm sure someone got sacked for that, because it was such a bad fit. But like the gigs were amazing, and they really did go down well. We got to hang out with Tom Jones, which was crazy.
What's he like?
I like a hologram, like too famous to be real. It's really strange.
He was on Jules Holland on the New Year episode, wasn't he? And it's just like such a legend. Must be amazing.
He really is. He's just like too famous. Like, there's always a person with him with a clipboard, and some like security people. He's like, "Hello, I really enjoyed your set. Fantastic." I'm like, "What?" And then we were chatting to him once just before he was going on stage, and he's like, "That was fantastic. Thank you for warming the crowd up." And I was like, "Oh, no worries, man." And he's like, "Anyway, I must go." And then honestly, he just teleported teleported from like well far away from it. We weren't even close to the stage. He teleported. I looked up and he was on stage going, "It's not unusual." And I was like, what is going on? It was so weird. Yeah, that was a really cool.
That's mega. Though. And to go straight from like your Glastonbury to that you must have been on such a high.
Yeah, we were. It was a really good summer. And we had some great gigs booked in for this year, but for last year. But never mind.
Are they getting moved to this year then?
Some of them have, some of them haven't. We had some really good support slots that I don't think aren't going to go. I think aren't going to go ahead anymore. But there's something else will happen, and I think it's important not to get too down and hung up over things that might have been.
Yeah, exactly. So like Georgia said, what's your next kind of goal, kind of what do you want your next like pinch me moment to be if it was Glasgow?
I don't know. It's a really good question. Like I'm just taking it one day at a time at the moment. So
yeah,
like I'm already doing crazy pinch me moments. Like we're just releasing a single that's when this is on it'll come out last week with Frank Turner featuring on it. And you know, I've listened to Frank Turner for years and I never imagined that we'd like collaborate on a song. So that's a pinch me moment already. And then also on this EP that we've put together, there's 2 other really big collaborations that we've not like released the details for yet, of bands that I love and have listened to all my life. And now we're playing, like singing together on songs. It is crazy.
Wow.
So that's like a pinch me moment. And Jules Holland would be, I think doing Jules would be one of them. And I don't know, I just want to see the world. I want to go to America. I want to do all the normal things. I want to be dead famous. I want to be in a hot tub.
Well, you've got exciting things to look forward to. I'm excited listening.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's it been like recording these collabs in lockdown? You don't have to mention any names if you don't want to.
But we'd like it if you did.
If you want to give it an exclusive, you can.
Yeah, well, it's been good. Like I've written songs and had people in mind and then sent them to the people and said, do you fancy this? And then they all said yeah, which was incredible. And then I got the vocals from Frank Turner and just like opened them up for the first time and put them on the song. And I was just like, wow, it just sounded exactly how I wanted it to. And I was quite emotional listening to that. Just like, wow. So, okay. The next one is Sleeper, Louise Wenner. I've loved Sleeper all my life. So me and Louise do this duet on this song called Bad Things. And it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And when Louise sent the vocals again, it was like, oh my God, that is just like, it sounds like Sleeper, but it's my song and I'm on it. And
that's crazy, especially because you wrote it in mind for these artists, and the fact that you can hear it back and you're like, yeah, exactly how I wanted it to sound.
I've done such a banger, you know. I've written this absolute banger song, and Sean Ryder needs to sing on it.
Yes.
But I've not like sent it to him or tried to get in touch with him yet. But if you are listening, Sean, I don't know why you heard it. Like, get in touch with me, man. Like, Sean Ryder needs to do the chorus, and I'm telling you, if he does, it'll be bigger than Dare. It will be.
That'll be so exciting.
I can write songs better than Damon Albarn. I don't even know who he is.
You said it now.
So we ask a question every episode, but because you know them, we're going to do a few more beforehand.
All right.
It's basically a game
to
find out how northern you are.
Okay, I think I'm quite northern. Go on.
So what are your top 3 pies?
Meat and potato pie, but is number 1, firm number 1. But I can't just have a pie. It's got to be on a barm cake with ketchup.
Extra points.
Yeah, extra points. We were going to say, have you tried a pie barm?
Have I tried a pie barm? That is literally every single day of my life in school. I had a pie barm from Dawson's, which is probably why my body looks like this. But like, yeah, I can't have a pie without barm. What do you take me for?
Is it buttered?
Yeah.
I've never had one, so
you need to have a pie barm. Or a pasty on a barm is also acceptable if you want a light snack.
Yeah.
But a pie on a barm is the one. And then I don't really meat and potato would be number 1, number 2 would be steak, and then meat and potato would be number 3 as well.
What are your?
I don't want like some ridiculous pies. Don't give me your organic gourmet pie.
No.
About the curried one.
I want it to be. I don't even know what the meat is in meat and potato. I like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a mystery.
Yeah, it's good though. That's part of That's part of the charm.
It's loose. It could be anything. Depends where you buy it from.
What do you think of a butter pie?
Oh, I love the butter pie.
Butter pie.
Do you not know what a butter pie is?
It's like buttery potatoes, like diced buttery potatoes.
You need to get to Galloway's in Wigan.
Get some meat in it.
No.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
It's usually the veggie option at football.
What would Morrissey say?
Is that what you use?
Racist, probably.
Something offensive.
And you spoke about your takeaways after a night out in Leigh, but what was your favourite scran after a night out?
Garlic bread with cheese is my absolute downfall in life.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so
my girlfriend's
good.
always like, every time I have one, she's like, garlic bread till you're dead. And I'm like, I know, and it's coming. Because I feel like just whatever that grease that pours off a garlic bread with cheese when you lift it up, that is just all in my veins. Like, that's what's keeping me going. So, yeah, I've got a real bad thing with garlic bread with cheese.
Yeah, that's mine, I think.
Oh, God, it's so good, though.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can't...
If life without garlic bread is like, it's
not a life.
Why? It's not a life.
And the final question is...
Oh, no, we've got another one.
Oh, we've got two more, yeah. So, what do you call a bread roll?
A bam.
Oh,
Because that's what it is.
Yeah, pie bomb. That's what I call it. She calls it a muffin.
I'd call it a muffin.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm no longer going to speak to you.
Yeah. You're getting ignored.
Oh, come on, guys.
And the final one now is, where does the north begin?
In your life, in
Right
your
here.
mouth. In the soul.
In your heart.
Just to show that I held my heart. I think, where's your heart? Is it that way or that way?
To your left, slightly on your left.
I just as you get out of London.
Yeah.
That's where the north begins.
Well, that's what Londoners think, innit? They just think it's anywhere north of, like...
I think if I give an answer, it'd be Birmingham above.
Yeah, probably.
Would be my serious answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the north is everywhere. No matter where I go in the world, this is true. There's always somebody from Leigh. It's so weird because like Leigh is this tiny town. There's probably like, I don't know, 18 people that live in Leigh. And no matter where you go in the world, there's always someone there, or they'll know someone. My sister's married to a man from Leigh.
And you'll know who he is.
Yeah. No matter where you are, you could be in Marrakesh and you'll see the guy who does the taxis.
Yeah.
I love that. I just love that anyway, because you'll know you'll vibe with them then, because you're like northerners to northerners. You're like,
it is. It's a connection, isn't it? Like no other.
It is.
And then we've got the last question, which we do on every podcast. So
yeah, if you could go out with anyone from, and wait, let me do that again. If you could go anywhere, like clubbing or going to a gig or festivals or anything with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and where would you go?
Is it only one person?
We're open to multiple answers.
Add more.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like clubbing's not really my vibe anymore. Like, I'd like to go to, it'd be like somewhere I could sit down and have a conversation. Mm-hmm. But there would be an element of live music.
Yeah.
Or a comedian. But I'd love, you know what I love? I love Russell Brand. I'd love to just chat to him. I've met him a couple of times and he's wicked, but I would love to just really have some good time to chat to him. So I'd want to take Russell Brand. Liam Gallagher would be a laugh.
Yeah.
Who else would I'm just going to take them two.
Yeah, that's solid. Just a little.
Russell and Liam.
Russell Brand's such an intellectual that you just have you could stimulating conversation, wouldn't you?
You chat for hours and it'd feel like 10 minutes, I feel, with him.
I've got such a man crush on him. Like every time I've ever met him, I've just got lost in his eyes. And
Forgot what to
just say something crazily intelligent. Like, oh God. So.
Are you like the guy off Forgetting Sarah Marshall who's obsessed with him? Have you watched that?
You're sound like you're from London. That one.
Yeah.
Such a sick man.
He's like, here's my demo. You don't have to listen to it, but you can.
Yeah, that was literally me.
Oh, I love that film. So it's been really good to talk to you.
I feel uplifted.
Yeah, same. I feel really positive,
me too.
and it's been a good laugh. And we're really excited to see what comes out of 2021 for you. But it's clearly been, despite the difficulties, a really good 2020 for you as well. So thanks so much for joining us. And
we look forward to your new single, which will be released at the time we publish the podcast. So excited.
Go and check it out right now, you little worms.
You heard it here.
I know I've ruined it. I call everyone a worm.
They're not going to do it now.
No, exactly.
All right. Thank you so
Tom.
much. Thank you. Bye.
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 See you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Going Out podcast with Skiddle. Don't forget to like, rate and subscribe wherever you hear this podcast.
Thank you.